All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are on this beautiful planet. Welcome to the Inner Circle Live pre-New York session. I'm your host for this morning's session, Benny Allen, along with my awesome partner, Mr. Ryan Carthage. And we're definitely happy and grateful for each and every one of you being here with us this morning as we take a look at the technicals and the fundamentals to see what we can take advantage of in the Forex market. So, without further ado, let's make sure that we turn off any and all distractions, grab a pen and paper, take lots of notes, and let's make sure that we participate and engage. If everybody can hear me loud and clear, especially this morning, do me a huge favor, drop me a one in the chat as I had a ton of technical issues. We had major storms last night, so sorry for being on late. I had to get my internet back up and running. So one's okay, so I'm all good. I see all the ones coming in. All right, so let's make sure that we start with a strong foundation, making sure that we are accepting all possible losses before entering a trade, preparing you for any outcome. Let's make sure that we center ourselves in body, mind, and spirit, assuring a balanced approach to trading. Let's trust in our education, strategy, trading skills, and intuition. Let's always imagine our trades successfully materializing. We want to make sure that we obey our trading strategy, avoiding decisions based on greed or fear. And we want to make sure that we are never looking back or stopping once our trade has commenced. All right, so let's get to it, everybody. As we are starting way late this morning. So again, I apologize. I had some major issues with my internet getting on this morning. We had some pretty big storms last night, at least over my way. And but with that being said, glad I was able to get on. And man, so uh we saw Reese already hit me with the 80-20 on the 30-minute US oil dollar yen. Um, he said you kind of imagine power came back on. Yeah. So man, I uh I knew the storms were going on, but I didn't I didn't know my internet was taking a hit like that late, throughout the night. So I got out in a lot earlier. But here we are. Global markets, global markets sink on sweeping tariffs. European markets, along with stocks in the Asia Pacific region, and the U.S. futures tumbled on Thursday after President Trump announced higher than expected tariffs, fueling fears of a prolonged trade conflict and a global economic slowdown. The tariffs on China now stand at 54%, with the EU and Japan, while the EU and Japan face steep levies of 20% and 24%, respectively, right? He kind of held up with Canada and Mexico, but dropped the bomb on everybody else. Uh, man, what a show yesterday. I hope you all picked up on the fact that he waited until after the markets closed to say what he had to say. You know, um, what just craziness. Dollar DXY, right? Let's check it out. Yeah, he was slick with that one. He was so slick with that one, right? Uh, Move. Let me see. Forex DXY dollar index fell below 103 on Thursday, hitting its lowest level in nearly 6 months as traders digested President Donald Trump's sweeping tariff measures. Late Wednesday, Trump announced a comprehensive tariff package aimed at reshaping U.S. trade relationships. The measures include 10% baseline tariffs on all imports, with higher rates for key trade partners such as China, 34%, the European Union, 20, Japan, 24. Additionally, a 25% tariff on all foreign-made automobiles took immediate effect. Meanwhile, fresh economic data painted a mixed picture. The ADP report showed a stronger than expected 155K increase in private sector jobs for March, surpassing forecasts. However, the JOLTS report revealed job openings fell by 7.57 million, signaling a potential slowdown in the labor market. Investors are now turning their attention to Friday's non-farm payrolls report, which could provide further insight into the Federal Reserve's next policy move, right? So People sometimes wonder, you know, why the Fed is an independent body. There's a reason, right? There's a reason, right? They don't want to be influenced by all the mess, which is why they've held rates, right? Even though you were here, President Trump, oh, they need to cut rates, cut rates, cut rates. Well, if you cut rates and you get a global slowdown because of crazy policy decisions, right? Then you don't have a major tool in your tool belt if you're the Fed to help get the economy out of trouble, which is being able to cut rates. If I cut rates now, right? If I cut rates to zero, right? Where you've read articles over the last several weeks. Oh, um, Elon Musk, everybody, oh, zero inflation. And then you heard some zero inflation, and then you heard like you cut the rates down, cut the interest rates down to zero. Well, what weapon do you have, right, to fight against a downturn in the economy, right? What weapon do you have to stimulate the economy if it was on a major downturn if you cut rates all the way down now, right? So that's why they've been holding rates. In case you get in trouble, we can pull out the rate cut machine, right? So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But yeah, just copper prices slide amid Trump's reciprocal tariffs. Brent sinks nearly 3%. Bond yields fall in Europe. The producer prices in the Eurozone, they rose more than expected. So this is uh this is where we are. Um, Check out Bloomberg. Dollar drops as Trump's tariffs set to also hurt the U.S. Liberation Day. Right? Um, Tariffs, Trump tariff broadside sends shockwaves across global economy. You know, everybody thought, for a minute when he started out, all right, 10% sweeping tariffs across the board. But then he started talking, and through all the mess he was talking, he dropped the hammer. He dropped the hammer. Then he kept right on talking about a bunch of other crazy stuff. Right? But hey, man, we're finding out. We're finding out. So after market hours, Dow dropped 1,000 points. Dow dropped 1,000 points. So interested to see what everything looks like this morning once New York opens. Right? See that? Dow futures tumble 1,000 points on fear Trump's tariffs will spark a trade war. Trump tariff incites fury in China and dismay in Europe. 1,000 points. 1,000 points. So, any questions on what happened yesterday? Where is Musk? Soon to be out of there, from what I keep hearing, which is actually what sparked a little bit of a rally in the market yesterday before everything hit the fan. So, soon he won't be there. He's setting up. I guess they said sometime in May or something like that. But then uh who was it? Was it Trump's press secretary when asked about that? I think she said he'll leave when the job is done. So who knows? Uh JD cried loud for that. Yeah, I know. He's not liking that much situation at all, taking attention away from him. So uh Jim Cramer, Trump's tariffs are more punitive than reciprocal. uh I know, as anybody follow the Newsmax stock, right? Pump and dump, pump and dump. IPO shot up It was something crazy, well over 100%, but it's back down 77.46% on the pump and dump for Newsmax. Not sure if well, 40%. That was 21 hours ago. 77% now. It's down 77% now. So conservative channel, cable channel Newsmax shares plunged 77% after dizzying surge. So another pump and dump scheme. What else is new? About it for Europe because pharmaceuticals we get from them. Yes, that's true, Joy. All right. So give me 1 second here to get everybody set up. 'Cause I know, again, I apologize. I had some technical issues with the storms. So there we go. All right. Well, let's see. Let's switch over and see what we can see. The DXY gone. Right. Further move down. Right. Where are we at with the VIX? Woo. 26.29 on the VIX. Above 20. Right. No IPOs during this time of uncertainty. Right. Right. I'm with you there, man. I'm with you there. I wouldn't touch it. Yeah, but the dollar, run that fib from the top. All right. See what we've got going on. This downturn. All right. So on a daily now, we're down right in the 80-20 zone. Strong fundamentals though. Right? Override technicals. Let's see what's gonna happen. Here we are on the 4 hour. Nosedive. Nosedive. Okay. See how far down we want to go. All right. So that's where we are. We'll take a look at some of our commodities here. All right, we hit that 382 on oil. This 4 hour chart. And down goes Fraser, right? Down goes Fraser. Gone. Right? To the downside. Okay. Here we are. So let's take a look at it. Why? Okay. Look at crude. Sank near the 3%, $69 a barrel. Markets turn risk averse following higher than expected tariffs. Fundamentals matter. Although oil, gas, and refined product imports were exempt, President Donald Trump's sweeping tariffs on several countries, including 10% baseline, we know that, raised concerns about escalating trade disputes, which could dampen global energy demand. That's the key. Demand, right? How does it impact demand, or how could it impact demand? Right? Added to the bearish sentiment, U.S. crude inventories unexpectedly rose by 6.2 million barrels last week, contrary to forecasts of a 2 million barrel draw, driven by a surge in Canadian imports. Meanwhile, Russia opposed tighter export restrictions, suspending loadings from key ports. Investors are now looking to the OPEC Plus meeting later this week to further insights into the global supply outlook. Right? Down on the correction, right? Beautiful 80-20. Now we're moving back down, right? Gold. Daily chart. Looks in that 80-20 zone. We're at that 118 extension. Seeing some reaction, right? Seeing some reaction. Well up over 3,000. Right now we're back down around that 3098 level. Hey, we know at some point we could see a correction. Right? So that's where we are on gold. Yeah, here we are. Silver, right? We got up around that 118, right? That 80-20 zone. We didn't quite get a 382. Now we're returning lower. That's how the game goes. All right? Tariffs, all right, are having an impact across the board. There's nat gas on the 1 hour, trying to make a U-turn on natural gas. We'll see what happens on that. All right, we came back down to that level that we were thinking, and now we've gotten some bullish momentum, right? Yesterday, today, right? Trying to move positive. We did break trend line. We'll see. We'll see what happens on the natural gas play.
Hey, Benny,
Yes,
can you zoom out to last April to see where that high was?
last April. Let me see where we at. 25 last April. November 4.
Okay, so we passed it. I want to.
Yeah, we passed it, went beyond it.
Okay.
Yep. That's June, May. Yeah, we way beyond that. Now. Yep. Way beyond it now. Let's see. Fell to 405. Record production and forecast for milder weather, reduced demand expectations. All right, we talked about seasonality now. We've been talking about that with natural gas. I'll put it on 48.
The reason why
Record.
I asked that because on the day that it started to drop was the day that they injected. So whenever they decide to inject for storage, is the day
Yeah.
that it's gonna drop.
Ah, you got that down now, eh?
Yes, sir. Withdrawal and injection season.
Hmm. So, so output in the lower 48 states hit a record 106.1 billion cubic feet per day in March, surpassing February's high of 105. Additionally, warmer than normal temperatures throughout the minute are expected to keep demand low, potentially allowing utilities to add gas to storage. Meanwhile, LNG exports also hit a record with gas flows to the U.S. export plants reaching 15.8 billion cubic feet per day, up from February's 15.6. This was driven by new units in Venture LNG plant, Louisiana, natural gas, right? Anybody, see, hot weather in April and less demand. Yep. I'm with you on that one, Jeremy. I'm interested in that LNG though, for sure, because I keep,
I looked at that business because I didn't know that we had a LNG in. I didn't know we
yeah.
had plants here.
What'd you say?
I didn't know we had LNG plants here. So
Yeah, we do. We
so the
do.
latest one is in Louisiana. I put the website and everything on there and in the community, and basically just going around looking at their mission and their motto and stuff like that. I was looking, they got like a news section on the what's the name, and then that's when I ended up going to the tunnel because I lost my previous notes. So April through October is injection season because of the low demand, and during
Yeah.
injection season is dovish. But the withdrawal season, of course, is the winter area, and then that's when it's more hawkish. It's basically from
Okay. Right. Yeah, I keep hearing about this stock too. This LNG has been a pretty good stock. I hear it all the time on the shows in the natural gas space, right? So we trade in that gas, but what energy companies, right, can we look into? But this is one of them. So appreciate your input on that, Joy. So we'll see. We got a little bit of a pullback and a boost. No, I like Like Jeremy said, hot weather in April and less demand. So we'll see how that plays out. But we got a little bit of uptick going on there now. So we'll see what happens. Copper, right? We read about that taking a dive for man. Isn't that crazy? Right? Isn't that crazy? Right? We got copper prices slide amid Trump reciprocal tariffs. But isn't that odd that we were in an 80-20 zone anyway, everybody? Make it make sense. Right? We were in an 80-20 zone. What was going to cause, right, that moves to get back, right? As good as copper was running, right, as of late, we hit an 80-20 zone and we moved right back down. Right? Those 80-20s, you know, have been paying off. They have been paying off, right? So there's that move there on copper. We'll see how much lower it wants to go. Wants to go there, right? So let's look at some things here, right? With currencies because we know they've been moving, right? We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens when the stock market opens. We see what the future story is, right? The future story is. So, right, you see the spike down there a little bit wild on this Aussie CAD, right? We still got it running to the downside, still making progress there. We're trying to hit that 118 extension, right? Really to come back down here and double bottom, right? And so we're holding up at this 89.30 level. We broke below it. We moved back up, but I'm still looking to hold bearish on this Aussie CAD. On this Aussie CAD. Aussie Swissy, right? Still moving bearish. Look at that. To the downside. We broke that level. We'll see if we can close beyond it today. And yeah, everybody, we are there. So if you were playing that Aussie Swissy short, hey, it takes a while, right? It takes a while. You know, Deb, I know you had the question yesterday. How long does it take? As long as it takes. We just want to have that direction right. We just want to have that direction right. That's the main thing, right? So it does take. I used to have I've got to find out. I posted that a long, long time ago, from my mentors. Um, uh, where they do have it. Ah, man, I have to find that where it'll give her a projection on how long it could possibly take. Like for example, if a C to D on a 1 hour chart versus a C to D on a 4 hour chart or a daily chart, like how long the projection, right? But then it's kind of broad because then it just depends on the currency pair too and how fast that particular currency, right, in regards to volume. Like we know like a pound pair can move a whole lot faster than some other pairs, right? Because of the sheer volume. So I'll try to find that again. Um, and get that post. I have to look into my archive, but that's pretty much that in extension. So if you've been short on that, right, and you were only planning to that 4 hour D extension, you know, crazy times out here in the markets, right? So that's within like a pip or so. You might be looking to close that out if you're not already closed out, right? If you're playing that C to D on the 4 hour chart. So that one's making good movement. Our Aussie yen play that has just been bouncing around as of late started to make some progress, right? To the downside. We'll see as we've got to put these other levels in now, right? We've got this 91.81 level coming in um, here, like so. Move that in there now. And this is where we've been watching this trade on the 4 hour. So that 91.81 is right at that B boundary. But we can see, right? We know oftentimes we know that Japan is dealing with the tariff issue as well. But we also know in this group, uh, that during risk off situation, we got that VIXI high. What was that VIXI at? 26 or something like that. 26.60 above 20 on the VIX, right? That's our fear index, right? We know that risk on currencies like the Australian dollar, those commodity currencies that typically do pretty well during risk on situations, right? Don't do as well, but currencies like your safe haven currencies, like a yen, right? Like the yen can kick in, right? And so we've been playing this 4 hour C to D move, long swing, and we've gotten some movement, right? So we just trade the zones on these swing trades, right? We don't worry about all of the back and forth, the consolidation, getting whipsawed, the ranges. We just say, hey, at the end of the day, is this gonna move? Is this gonna move in an ABCD wave? Right? That's what we're looking for. We don't care what it looks like, how it gets there, right? How long it takes necessarily, right? We just want to see it move in the direction of our trade idea. Right? So we'll continue to let that run because through all of this ugliness across the middle of the screen, if I take that at a 61.8, right, I'm up 233 pips right now. See? So that's the ASEAN move right now, continuing to move bearish for us. I'll see. Do we have at least I haven't forgot about your setups either. I'll hit that next as soon as we finish up these Aussies. Um, Look at this swing here, right? You had an 80-20 swing, okay, on that 1 hour. Okay. And then look, it actually took out the A. Right? That's how crazy the event was yesterday. Look at that. Then do we have, nope, we don't have an 80-20 or anything on that. So Aussie bearish. Of course, we'll probably see some sort of a pullback after the event. Look at our Aussie NZD, everybody. It's beautiful price action, right? We moved higher, so this actually needed to get adjusted like that, right? But we see the move to the downside, okay? Same thing. What's going to be the catalyst, right? So we got 786 pullback. So on this 4 hour move here, right, okay? So bearish, right? But our whole idea with the Aussies as of late is bearish. We've been moving bearish, right? And so the beautiful thing about fundamentals and technicals combined is we trade our ABCD waves, but if you have strong risk management principles, the fundamental idea, technical idea has been bearish. So the beautiful thing about what we do is you literally, right, could have dropped an order in anywhere, right, at any price that you would be in profit pretty much because it's moving bearish, right? It's moving bearish. So the key is always, right, in trading, one of the things that we realize is that a lot of people can't get the direction right. That's one of the hardest things is to get the direction right, over time. And so you can see this is moving bearish. We're at the critical level here, this 109.08 level, but we're in the sell zone. So we can easily see more downside pressure here. All right. So it's an A6 pullback. So right below that daily level, we've got that 118 extension. So all signs pointing towards us continuing to move lower, right? The only other one here, right, is where we're getting a little bit of a bounce in the opposite direction is this crazy Aussie dollar, right? Where it's just moving back and forth. We're moving back and forth. So that's just a mess across the middle of the screen right now. Dollar weak. Aussie not the strongest either, but we're seeing some short-term gains to the upside because of the dollar collapsing. Right. So we'll see how this plays out. This is not one that I'm actually been trading because of the dollar's been so funny back and forth. So that's where we are there. So I'm hands off on this Aussie dollar. Not involved with it at all. Yeah, there's to help you, your newbie. Yeah, for sure. For sure. We got you. We got you. So that's it on the Aussie pairs. Let me get back to what Reese called out from the gate this morning, which was 80-20 on the dollar yen and US oil on the 30-minute. So let's go back to the oil play first as we took a look at that this morning already. And we'll take this down to the 30-minute. Yep. So right here, this is where we are. We'll see what happens. Use those confirmations, right, on the 30-minute. But we are in the zone. Appreciate you, Reese. Drop some sevens in the chat. Right. But we all know the game now. We just had a strong fundamental occurrence. We know that it can cause the market to run in a particular direction for quite some time. So sometimes we'll see these get overrun. So of course, we want to make sure, right, that we use additional confirmations, trendline breaks, cloud breaks, see if the market is going to slow down and recover, right? See if it's going to recover. See if oh, I just took that level. What was that? I don't know, somewhere around there in that zone. But let's see if we break trend line, see if we um see if we are able to get back above. Well, I got it at 68.74 now, but as above that daily level, right, to run. Okay. See what happens. See what happens there. Appreciate your Reese on that one. And then dollar yen, 30-minute. Look at that, everybody. Ooh, joy right at that death cross. Man. So you remember, what was it last week? I was talking about the lady. Um, he is calling a weaker dollar. I forget from the investment firm. She's a global strategist, something like that. She was calling for a weaker dollar, stronger yen during these times. During these times. That's what she was calling for. And we're moving down. Man. Right? So coming into 2025, where that dollar was running long, running pretty strong, and I was thinking 160. I don't think we're getting there. No way at all. This is bearish. So that idea is off the table. A lot of things have shifted with this tariff situation, right? So dollar down, dollar down. Ryan, good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning, bro. I'm doing well, man. How about yourself?
Doing pretty good. You got power?
Yes, I have power.
Cool, cool.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, I had some issues earlier this morning. I got knocked out. Got knocked
Oh,
out with the internet. Yeah, with the internet situation from the storm. So I was wondering how you were doing out your way.
yeah, mine was actually issued yesterday.
Yeah.
But it came back on pretty quickly.
Okay. Gotcha. So what's going on, man? How you feeling? What you think?
Uh, it's about to get real interesting, man.
It is.
Um, with everything that is being put across the board, it's gonna be interesting, dude. This chart kind of explains it, right? Um,
Yes.
risk off. Uh,
For sure.
yeah, that's what I got, bro.
Just risk
That's
off.
what I got, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I hear. I just, if you gotta do what you gonna do, just do it. But don't get up there lying on your resume yesterday. He was lying. He's just lying. Like he was just lying. They had to get back to the real time fact checks on this guy. Like he was he was just lying for no good reason, man. Just hit us with the tears and keep it moving.
Even
Like,
about the people that he talked to and said, what did he say? The one guy said this is the tariffs on the auto was phenomenal, and he was excited
yeah,
to see. Like, come on, man, you ain't talking to
yeah.
nobody,
No, he didn't. No, he didn't. He was just telling tales. He was speaking on dead men. I'm like, now you probably lying, but this man is dead. He can't even defend himself. He can't even
right? Right.
he can't even he can't even defend himself or give a rebuttal to what you're saying, man. Like he just has like no shame. But anyway, but yeah, man, risk off. Markets are definitely concerned. I man, in 2 hours, right? And then markets open. We'll see what happens. I didn't get a chance to listen to anything early. Bloomberg China, Bloomberg Europe. I didn't get a chance to do any of that this morning. So, but what a mess. Here's another one. Reese, I'm thinking this is the one that you caught, right? That impulse move down on this 30 minute. Kind of that same look as oil on that subfib. Yep. You know, so again, right? And so we track those, right? We know, right? High alert when you get major fundamental move in the market runs hard in one particular direction, we know that there's always a possibility of those 80-20 setting up. In the long run, it will be imported inflation and slow economic growth to the U.S. I agree, which, right? Some people got all up in arms when Atlanta Fed Chair Raphael Bostic called for that negative GDP. You remember that not too long ago? When he when his their algorithms or whatever they use is calling with their data was telling them like, man, you can have a complete shift, Jeremy, in GDP here in the United States, right? So I agree. Slow economic growth, which is why, right? Was it a week ago? We talked about stagflation, right? Where you have a period of slow economic growth, higher unemployment, but also higher inflation. Stagflation, right? That's why we started to hear that word creep in to the conversation, right? So that's where we are. So appreciate that thought, Jeremy. Appreciate the two setups. Reese, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens, right? 30-minute. Put a cloud on this one just to see what we're looking like. Way below cloud. Look at our lagging span. Our Chico span is below price. That is bearish, right? That is bearish, right? And so let's see if it settles. Let's see what happens as we continue to move, right? Just to stochastic here on this daily, though. Like for example, if you were trading this dollar yen and we got this breakdown here, it's like mm, I'm looking to drip trades in bearish at my next opportunity based on this daily chart. And you would ultimately be right. Say I dropped in a small position. This is the power and fibs and overall market direction from a higher time frame, right? So say I dropped in a position right there. I'm late, right? I am late to the party. Eventually, right? Even if it pulls way back, eventually you would be right. See? Eventually you would be right. But that's the key. That's the biggest thing, man. Risk management and not going all in, right? Selling your soul on one position, right? Because we can always add to that position, right? Even from here, if we go to that D extension there, 141, 142, that's 500 pips away, right? That's 500 pips away. So that's the dollar yen. We might as well stay with these dollar pairs and take a look at the rest of them. How's this performing? Down goes Frazier, right? That play is over now. Major shift in fundamentals, right? So the reason why I've been holding back on the market so much is which way, right? I need to know what's going to be the definite direction, right? Boom, that's beyond that. That's going to tap that extension most likely. Risk off. VIX's up over 20, 26, right? See that again. Swiss franc, we know, is a safe haven. So this all flips over now, right? Right. We turn this over. We definitely know right now where this dollar is headed. And now I can start to do some things, right? Headed to an extension. On the UJ minute, there's an 80-20. Yep, we covered then we covered the one on the 30 minute on the UJ. We covered from Reese, the UJ 80-20 oil on the 30 minute 80-20, and then a GU EU 80-20 GU on a 5 minute EU on a daily. All right, so we'll take a look at those. We'll take a look at those too. But we are definitely moving down. Look at that. So you're wondering if we were gonna hold up there. We got a little bit of bounce and move sideways and collapse. So now you just redraw your charts, right? Readjust it. Okay. Right. That extension is hit. Look at that. All right. So you drop down to the 30 minute, you probably find something similar. All right. We'll take a look at this dollar CAD. All right. Haven't really messed with this one much, but we got some break of the lows now. Look at this 4 hour. We're definitely bearish, or just the 1 hour. Got my screens flipped, my charts flipped. But we'll start off on this one, and we'll clean it up a bit. And what's crazy is like I was hearing some, you know, some of the analysts and things say right after he gave his speech or whatever. This thing is always like kind of a combination of a speech, a conversation, I don't know. It's kind of all over the place all the time. Um, uh, hear him say like they really still don't have after all like what used to be for an hour. That's what I thought. It's the high. Um, even after speaking for an hour, that's an 80/20 on the 1 hour. On a UCAT, even after speaking for an hour, people felt like they still didn't have total clarity. Show and tell, and yeah, like people like, and these were oh man, these were why did I just do that? Oh well, I'll fix it later. They feel like they didn't have like total clarity. Like, okay, we get the situation like with the percentages, but I guess they felt like they didn't truly understand exactly how it could happen, how it would roll out. Uh, there's one done by the Wall Street Journal, one video I watched on YouTube, and it was just like on cars, and they broke down. I don't know if anybody saw that video, but they broke down an F-150, and they spread out all the parts across this room on tables, and they were just saying like, well, this part comes from this country, this part comes from that country, you know, just in one part of the engine, not the whole engine, just one part of the engine. You had things come from several countries, right? So it was just insane. It was
Yeah,
just
man.
insane. Yeah,
Yeah,
like I would you see anything like that on that rank. I was like, how
it's
and you're gonna try
interesting
to apply
because
tariffs what you said?
no, go ahead and finish.
No, I'm just saying you're just gonna try to apply these different tariffs percentages to all these different parts. Like, how does it even work?
So yes, exactly, right? And it also is also different based on vehicle type, right? So um, all of those small parts for cars and small SUVs and trucks, you have a lot more exports than you do on large SUVs. So that's going to be interesting on how it's broken down. But you're going to see prices increase on trucks, small SUVs, any cars that are out there. You're going to see those prices jump drastically because they have way more imported parts than SUVs. But then I also was listening to more about the a lot of these smaller companies. This is going to go into supply chain and all this. A lot of these smaller companies,
Yeah.
they're working on 60 and 90-day invoices. So they don't get paid for 60 and 90 days. And so their cost of business increases, but they're not getting paid for 90 days on some of this stuff. And then some things are called you have to pay when they're sent out, and some things you have to pay also when it gets to the port. And it depends on what port it comes in at. So
Wow.
that's another fee on top of that that these companies have to pay, and then they get paid their invoice in 90 days,
Jeez.
right?
Jeez. What a
It's
mess.
way more complex than they make it seem. And there's so many other
Yeah.
layers to it. So these small companies are going to have some major issues, um, and they don't know what they're about to do.
Yeah, and I think that this is like what the analyst was talking about, like examples of exactly what you just gave. Like, how does it all, I think that's what they meant by like the lack of clarity. Like, how does this all making any type of sense, man? Like you talked about 12 other different stories unrelated to the to the situation. Like, you didn't really clearly explain like how is all of this gonna work? Like, how? How? Like
Yeah.
the conclusion I came away with yesterday after watching the one video from Wall Street Journal when they broke down that F-150 is it's impossible. Like this is impossible.
Yeah, bro.
Like you just dropped a plan that's impossible to fully execute. This trade where it's like PPI in the long run, consumers carry the burden. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, Jeremy, for sure.
Let me tell you something. If I can't get my new F-150 when my lease is up with my moon roof, because that's what the problem was last time was the glass issue. Let me tell you something. I'm gonna be highly upset if I have to go down to an SUV. I promise you.
Joy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Be prepared. Prepare yourself ahead of time. Show up to Mindset Monday.
I'm just gonna I'm just gonna keep this truck and just be done with it and be my little. Yeah, I'm upset because I love my F-150.
Yeah, it's a great, great vehicle. But we'll see. We'll see. It's I can't wait to hear the I'm I geek out on this stuff, so I can't wait to hear the conversation when I get off here and turn on Bloomberg and listen to all this stuff all day today. And watch them break this stuff down because it's gonna be fascinating. All right. So there's your dollar CAD. Real quick before we get off, I want to jump. Want to make sure uh done that. So price will not be an issue. That's right, Donnette. That's the way to think about it. Um, 5 minute for GU and EU. I want to make sure we cover that because those are trade possibilities that were called out. Uh, look at this. Look at this. Fundamentals, everybody. Fundamentals. Look at this right here. So let me do this real quick since we got a lot going on. Um, we'll go Euro USD. We'll put the 5 minute on. Seems to be a low there. Low. So that's your 5 minute. That's a swing there. Out there. Where were you seeing that? Here, 5 minute. Oh, EU on a daily. My bad. I was reading your note wrong. I was reading your note wrong. Oh, right here. Yep, 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 yep. Let's talk about both on a 5 minute. Got it. Daily 80-20. That is correcto. But this is man, our stochastic is in the buy zone. We are in that 80-20 zone. So we'll see. We'll see what happens there. Appreciate the call out. Drop some sevens for Donette on these two call outs. That is an 80-20 on the daily. I'm interested to see what happens considering the circumstances there if we continue to push higher. But then I do see this pullback on the daily. That does lead me to believe that this setup that I'm seeing on the 5 is real, that this is eventually going to go to this D extension, uh, which would be quite interesting to see, right? So the 5 minute, that might be a C to D swing setting up there, right? So we want to pay attention to that one. And then on this GU, look at this going long, right? So this is what I mean, right? When price gets running in either direction, fundamentals kick in. A lot of times you see these 80-20s get overran. And that's exactly what's going on now. Uh, so we'll come down to this 1 hour chart. Uh, that got a decent pullback though here on the one, almost 50%. But let me pull this off and let's go down to the 5. Yeah. Yeah. Did you take advantage of that one down that? Did you see that and short that one? Did you get short here? That's a good verse. I wonder if that's gonna if this pullback is gonna hold and move down lower. I don't know, we'll see. Right? Because you do have that crown type action there on that one. Listen here on the 5, right? Took out that A and that pullback, right? There, maybe we get it to move back lower to retest that 131 level. I don't know with the way this I wonder if it'll hold at this 236 level and keep running, but we'll see. No, you just saw it? Yeah. Appreciate you calling it out though. Because it is pulling back. But one of the things, you just do is just draw out your line. Right? Just draw out your line. But just know like these can be tricky, right? And we got so many emotions running, hot off these Trump tariffs and this announcement. So you never know, right? Could be a possible play on the short term. All right, because we know the dollar tanked, but hey, he slapped tariffs on the whole world. So you never know. It's crazy now because you never know, especially in regards to currencies. Ultimately, the direction some of them are going to go. Like we know just fundamentally, some of them we've just been bearish on because a lot of domestic things. And we know that some of them are commodity currencies, right? Like the Aussie and things like that. But some of them are not so easy to kind of figure out which way they're going to move in regards to strength, like the pound, like the euro. Uh, because they could go either way right now at this point. We just know right now we're seeing like the euro dollar went to the upside and this pound dollar had gone to the upside because of the weakness in the dollar. But ultimately we want to figure out what's the pound, as it stands alone, man, how is that going to react? And the euro and things like that. So this is man, these times do require a lot of patience, I tell you. So well, that's it. That's it. I apologize, right? Got on late because of the power issue and the internet from the storms, but we got through it quite a bit. Um, Ryan, anything else? Good thing you have no hair, right? You'd be pulling it out. Anything else before we close out, Ryan?
No, sir, bro. Great session, good people.
Yeah, pay attention to the news today, right? Any articles that I come across, will definitely get it posted in the community. Hey, everybody, enjoy the rest of your day. At least we got some volatility. Bye for
Right.
now.
Thanks,
Oh,
Ben.
Deb, you got a hand raised. Go ahead, Deb. I'm sorry.
Hello, sorry. Hi,
That's
everyone.
okay.
Just a quick question, please.
Sure.
In working out the fib levels, um, do I place take profits and stop loss to each time frame? For example, sometimes I'll hear there is daily levels. However, they look for an entry on a lower time frame. So would I set my take profit um to the daily fib level, or would I set it to the time frame that I'm actually looking at the charts?
That's ultimately gonna come down to you, right? And how you
Okay.
see fit. But you can trade. So I'll go back here real quick because that's a great question, right? So, for example, on this dollar yen. On my higher time frame, we spotted a daily fib. We got to pull back almost to 61.8. So we're projecting long term, this can fall, right, to this 141 level. I'm gonna make this real big, right? This can fall to this 141 level like that. Boom. So what we're gonna do though is I'm gonna drop this 141 level, this daily level, down to the lower time frames, right? So
Yes.
this is ultimately where we want to go. So this is our daily 1.618 D extension. So we're saying long term, we can see 141.46. Okay. Now you can position trade that from the daily, right? And you could, if you trade from a daily chart, right? So part of your journey is figuring out, hey, how do I want to trade it, right? What charts do I want to trade? So I'm gonna take this off. So you can say, okay, I'm going to a couple ways. You can say, I like the 4-hour chart. So I'm going to look to trade ABCD waves all the way down to 141.46 on the 4-hour. Meaning, if I like my 4-hour chart, then anytime price strikes my zone, I did a top-down analysis, and it is clear to me that this is bearish. So anytime price comes into my zone on a 4-hour, here's my entry, ABCD wave, right? A, B, C, D, I'm out. I could be out. See that? Right? So I may say, boom, ABCD wave, I'm out. Here is almost 600 pips. You follow me there?
Yes.
Right? Okay. I'm out on that trade. I made almost 600 pips on this 4-hour move. Now, this next one, price didn't strike my sell zone. So you may not be in on this one, right? Or you may have it built out in your trade plan eventually. Like, I will trade 382s, right? Or something, or 50% if I get a price pattern with it, right? Additional confirmation. That's a double top. I'm going to short that, right? Or maybe not. So you wouldn't be in on this one. But you made 600 pips on the last one, so we're not sweating it. Now, if price I'm trading my 4-hour chart, hits this D extension here, and we get a new fib to form like this, and then we get price to pull back, then guess what? Deb may say, I'm back in on this. You follow me? Still there, Deb?
Yes, I am.
All right. So whereas on this second fib, maybe I didn't take it because it's only at a 382. I don't like it. That's okay because I haven't hit this 141.46 daily target yet, so there's still opportunity. So I made almost 600 pips off this last 4-hour fib. This one didn't hit my strike zone, so I didn't take it because of my rules. Well, we're like we're gonna close in on this D extension at 144.70. Okay, the next time I get a 4-hour fib to set up, I'm gonna wait for it to pull back, and then I'm gonna short it like so. Okay, so maybe on this run all the way down to 140, 146, I caught 2 of the fibs. Okay, follow me there.
Yes, I am.
All right, now on the daily, you may say, I like the daily chart and I got this pullback. I'm taking this trade. Bang, I'm in this for the long term, all the way down to 140, 146. So boom, come down here. My initial trade is in. I'm expecting eventually to pick up 937 pips. So my initial entry is off my daily chart because I like trading a daily chart. All right, cool. So, but what I'm going to do is, this is a long way, almost 1,000 pips. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my lower time frame fibs, like my 4-hour chart. And anytime price pulls back, I'm going to add in another 0.5%, 1/4% to the trade. So I'm going to compound this trade because I'm expecting this to go 937 pips to the extension, right? So anytime I get a pullback in my strike zone on my 4 hour, I'm going to add to that position that I initiated on the daily. So now I've got a position in on the daily. Now I just added a position on the 4 hour. I didn't add one here because it didn't meet my rules. But if I get a pullback here, I'm now going to add another position. So now I would have three trades running, right? The daily trade, that's going to go 937 pips. I got a 4 hour entry that's going to move. No, can't count that one. But say I added my second entry here, right? So 937 from the top, and then I got another 722 pips to add on the second order, right? So it just depends on, how you want to trade the setup. What's your favorite chart going to be? Is it going to be I like trading a 4 hour chart? Do I like waiting on levels to be hit on the daily and putting an initial trade and then using my lower time frame charts and pullbacks, right, to add to my position from the higher time frame, right? So as this market goes in waves, because we know unless it's something catastrophic in the market, fundamentally, the trade is just not going to drop 937 pips in one move. It's going to move in waves. It's going to pull back, right? So if price were to pull back on this 80-20, right? Do I want to add to my position knowing that my target is 141.46? I'm looking to stay bearish all the way to 141.46, and I'm just going to add and compound positions all the way down. So I'm not going to end up with 937 pips. It's going to be way over that because I'm going to continue to add positions as the dollar weakens. Make sense?
Okay. Yes, it does.
Yep. All right. So it just depends on, how you want to trade it. You might just say, I got this one position in and I'm just going to let it ride. I'm not going to add any positions. So it just depends on how you look at it. But that's how you would do it from the top down, right? So this ultimately is my target from the daily chart. 140, 146 is my target. Okay.
That's
All right.
great. Thank you.
Yeah, you may trade this on the one and say, okay, let me see here. I moved it to the 30-minute from the one. I didn't add a chart. So you may come in and like here, right? This move. But here's 140, 146. So once this hits the D extension, right? You had it here. You had a trade kind of like the 4 hour. You had a trade hit your strike zone here, not so much here. But again, if this makes its way down to this D extension and we get a reset, right? Like that, and you get a pullback, then you may say, I'm back in on this, right? To the downside, right? To get short to 141.46. Yeah. But yeah, you can set a higher time frame target and then chase that on your lower charts. Okay? Really good question. Really good question. All right, everybody. See everybody tomorrow morning, 6:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Like I said, if we find any news or anything that's worthy of posting, we'll definitely put it in the community. Have a good day, everybody.
Thanks, Ben. You too.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.